The best of money matters. Wealth Tracker.
Welcome to the Wealth Tracker. I'm Hongbin Jeong. Now, in 2025, the crypto landscape will likely see pivotal advancements shaped by regulatory clarity, institutional adoption, and technological evolution. Now, this will be led by U.S. regulators such as the SEC, enabling more diversified financial or investment products associated with crypto, such as ETFs or tokenized security products. So what's next for digital assets in the year ahead? Well, to find out more, joining me now is Valentin Fournier, who's a digital asset analyst at BRN. Valentin, welcome to the show.
Nice to see you, Hongbin. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for joining us again today, Valentin. Valentin, 2024 saw two major growth periods for digital assets, which was in March and November. Just for a little recap here, Valentin, what happened during those periods and which digital assets saw the most growth?
So in March 2024, it wasn't just like a growth period. It was the first time in nearly 4 years that Bitcoin reached a new ATH. That rallied in January 2023, and it took Bitcoin from a $16,000 low to more than $73,000. It was driven by factors like decreasing inflation, growing optimism for digital assets, and most importantly, the launch of Bitcoin ETF in the US. During this period, big players like Bitcoin and Solana saw the most growth, with Ethereum following closely. And November was a game changer because of Donald Trump's election. He made many promises around crypto regulations, a national Bitcoin reserve, and making the U.S. a leader in Bitcoin mining and digital assets innovation. Bitcoin led the charge again, but we also saw smaller altcoins, notably XRP, hitting new highs and outperforming the markets in the weeks following his election.
I see. So how do these pivotal moments set the stage for investor expectations in 2025?
So these two moments set the stage for 2025 in a few key ways. First, Bitcoin ETF launch and options trading really help bring institutional investors into the space. MicroStrategy's success using debt to buy more Bitcoin has driven corporate adoption of digital assets in the balance sheets. Trump's promises, which could lead to a global adoption through a Bitcoin reserve and positive regulations, were also really important. So investors should expect a volatile year ahead, but also one with plenty of growth potential for Bitcoin and various sectors of digital assets.
I see. Well, then, Valentin, given all these developments in the digital asset space, is it too late to invest in digital assets, or are there still opportunities?
I would definitely say it is not too late to get in. Even with the strong performance in 2024, we are still in the early stages of a massive digital transformation in finance. The potential for a Bitcoin reserve could change how the world views Bitcoin, create a massive fear of missing out, and drive prices up by a lot. On top of that, better crypto regulations and clearer frameworks on the horizon could lead to more institutional adoptions in a variety of sectors.
I see. Well, on that note, let's take a look at some key sectors for this year. Now, DeFi continued to evolve in 2024, growing its total value locked by approximately 40% year over year as institutional players increase their participation. What's expected for DeFi in 2025? Can it continue to grow this year?
DeFi hit $140 billion by the end of 2024. Which is approximately 3 times what it was in 2023. But it remains below the highs of 2022, so there is definitely room for growth. And in 2025, we expect that growth to continue with what we see as likely new highs, helped by regulatory clarity and a better security, which could help attract more institutional investors. And over time, we also expect more DeFi platforms to integrate with traditional finance, which could push overall volumes up.
I see. Meanwhile, stablecoins saw a 30% increase in circulating supply in 2024. What factors attributed to this increase last year?
Yeah, in fact, stablecoins grew from 140 billion to 210, and this was driven by their growing use in DeFi, cross-border transactions, and institutional adoptions. We were in a very high demand for things like yield lending, yield generation, and liquidity across decentralized exchanges. Stablecoin also became more integrated into traditional finance system, including in remittances and cross-border payments. And by the end of 2024, USDT and USDC made up over 50% of DeFi transactions, showing a real use case for them.
I see. Do you expect the role of stablecoins to expand this year as well then?
The role of stablecoins is very likely to keep growing in 2025. We will see more use in remittances, payments, and DeFi. And also with several countries set to launch central bank digital currencies, stablecoins could really bridge the gap between traditional finance and the digital asset worlds. Improved regulation should also make them more appealing to institutional players that look for stable alternatives to volatile assets.
I see. Meanwhile, Valentin, AI-integrated digital assets experienced a 50% growth in market capitalization in 2024. What were some AI-integrated digital assets that caught your attention in the past year?
Yeah, they definitely had a standout year with more than 50% growth in market cap. And projects like Fetch AI, SingularityNet, and Ocean Protocol were particularly impressive. Fetch AI is focused on decentralized autonomous agents powered by AI. SingularityNet offers a decentralized marketplace for AI services. Ocean Protocol is all about decentralized data trading. These projects are all tapping into the massive demand for AI, and especially in industries like finance, healthcare, and logistics. So they are likely to outperform in 2025 again.
I see. Well, with AI continuing to be the hot theme in markets, will AI-integrated digital assets garner more attention amongst investors, you think?
Definitely, yes. As AI becomes more embedded in industries, AI-integrated digital assets are going to attract even more attention. And with AI's growing adoption and the need for decentralized, transparent, and secure data sharing, blockchain projects focused on AI have a huge growth potential. As the convergence of AI and blockchain continues, we expect more investment in these assets because they represent the future of both technologies.
I see. Well, Ethereum fell short of reclaiming its all-time high in 2024, though, even as many of its competitors surge past their previous peaks. So let's talk about Ethereum now. Will the crypto see fresh challenges in 2025, or will this be the year for Ethereum?
So Ethereum in 2024 was only up 45%, reached new highs of 4,000 before declining to the lower 3,000, but it is still very well below the all-time highs of 4,700. Ethereum's difficulties reflect a long-term vision focus on scalability through layer 2 solutions, and recent updates they made to improve scalability and reduce fees negatively impacted the fees generated by Ethereum, which in turn impacted the net supply of the currency. There is more Ethereum tokens and less fees to share, which explains performance that was not as good as Bitcoin. But now Ethereum is ready for an increased number of transactions for lower fees, make way more interesting for investors. And the problem now is that the increase in demand is not yet compensating for the lower fees. So Ethereum's success will largely depend on institutional adoption and continued development of on its blockchain.
I see. Well, on the other hand, though, Solana has shown impressive growth in 2024. What drove investors' interest into Solana?
Solana is up 150% since the beginning of 2024. This growth in transaction volume and revenue generation was mostly led by a meme coin frenzy and decentralized apps like Pump Fun, who generated hundreds of millions of dollars a month. The recent launch of Trump official meme coin drove Solana to a recent ATH, and that could give more fuel to meme coin trading in the future.
I see. Then what's the outlook for Solana for 2025?
So Solana's outlook for 2025 looks pretty strong. The recent Fire Dancer upgrade will significantly enhance its transaction throughput, potentially hitting 1 million transactions per second, which positions Solana as a strong contender for high-frequency trading platform and decentralized applications. With its low fees and improved stability, Solana can continue its price appreciation in 2025. However, Solana's revenue model still leans pretty heavily on cyclical trends, especially meme coin trading, which can make things a bit volatile. Even though those speculative trends have driven some of its recent growth, they're not exactly a recipe for long-term stability. So the real test for Solana now will be whether it can pivot towards supporting institutional use cases and real-world application that create lasting, stable economic value. And that's what will determine its future success.
Right. Well, Valentin, we can't conclude this interview without talking about Bitcoin as well. Now, the growing interest in Bitcoin from institutional investors is now, being matched by potential adoption from nation states and governments. How will this impact the prices of Bitcoin moving forward?
So El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender in September 2021. Astonishing returns have followed, and now Trump promised a national reserve of Bitcoin during his mandate, saying he would buy 1 million of it in 4 years' time. And this could drive the most massive fear of missing out on Bitcoin that it has ever seen. The reduced offer as Bitcoin will be kept by every central bank, and increased demand from every country starting to be left behind could start like the biggest rally Bitcoin has in recent years.
Is there more room to run for Bitcoin this year then, or do you think prices will peak in 2025?
The growing institutional and corporation adoption coupled with the potential Bitcoin National Reserve could make 2025 one of the most profitable years for Bitcoin. And as to whether it will peak or not, it is too early to time it up. And all we can say that the usual 4-year cycles could be less impactful in the future as Bitcoin-based will be solidified by countries and institutionals rather than retail investors looking for a quick buck.
I see. Well, overall then, Valentin, what's your top pick amongst digital assets for this year that investors should keep a close eye on?
So Bitcoin remains my top pick, followed closely by Solana. However, I also see a considerable upside in DeFi and AI-integrated assets, which offer high growth potential due to their expanding ecosystem and increasing adoptions. And these assets are set to benefit from technological advancements and a growing interest in both AI and blockchain interoperability.
I see. And before we let you go here, are there any risks investors should also take note of when going into this digital asset space?
So investors should always try to understand the value behind the assets they purchase. They should also understand the market volatility and be cautious of regulatory changes and security risks. And as always, diversification and proper risk management strategies will be key in navigating the digital asset landscape in 2025.
I see. Well, thank you so much, Valentin, for joining me today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. That was Valentin Fournier, who's a digital asset analyst at BRN. This has been the Wealth Tracker with me, Hongbin Jeong.
Before acting on the information on Money FM, please consider if it's suitable for your own investment objectives, financial situation, and risk tolerance. To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.